Happy almost Independence Day, Drafters. It's Dan, it's JP. It's not quite the 4th of July yet, but it is very close. And, we might as well celebrate 250 years of America being a country officially according to the paperwork, right? Because technically, I want to say, they finished the language, I think, on July 2nd, which is today. I think they started signing it on the 4th and finished signing it sometime in August or something like that. So, semantics, right? This is the day that we've chosen to blow stuff up because that's what we do here in this country. And oh my goodness, is this beer like a full pint, dude? Like, I am so slowly bringing the surface tension to... You got the same thing, don't you?
Well, no, but look. Watch this. Watch how big of a... Hold on.
You still have more in there. Oh, all right. All right, that's a legit gulp.
So, but now look.
You got more, don't you? I swear, your pint glasses are not pint glasses, but
no.
They're like 15-ounce glasses. We got to talk to the Detroit Lions about that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of jokes there. We're going to leave them all alone. They leave them all alone, but again, hey.
Dang, that beer is interesting, dude. Ooh.
All right, well, we'll talk about that at the midpoint. And for those of you who...
That? What the hell is ABV on that?
Well, for those of you that are looking for something to drink this weekend while you're celebrating the 4th of July, there you go. When you're celebrating the 4th of July and drinking something, I mean, admittedly, beer was not American. Really, bourbon, I feel like, is American, right? Whiskey didn't start in America, I don't think, technically. But bourbon is kind of American.
No, whiskey's got to be like freaking Ireland.
Well, Ireland, Scotland, somewhere in that ballpark, yeah. I imagine is where it started. We'll look that up at some point as well when we're doing our beverage shows a little later on this summer. But have an American styled beer, maybe a American pale ale or something like that. Have some bourbon. Enjoy the 4th of July. Don't blow yourself up. That's basically be responsible about your fun times. And you know what? This isn't a perfect country, but it's the one we live in, so let's celebrate it a little bit, right? And at least it's a good excuse to get the weekend off, or at least a long weekend off, and prepare you for Monday, when the Americans will take on the Belgians in something that doesn't involve waffles. It'll be a great game. And because the World Cup is going on, dude, I told you that I had something silly planned here. Here's what I did, right?
So wait a second. I'm going to sound like an idiot. So I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you insinuating there's a difference between a Belgian waffle and just a waffle? I thought all waffles are Belgian waffles.
Oh, no. Don't tell the Belgians that. Actually, do tell the Belgians that. It'll probably piss them off.
What is it?
Well, the Belgian waffles, in my experience, Belgian waffles are the big, thick waffles. Yeah. And then other waffles are just the thinner ones.
So I have a waffle maker upstairs, and it makes a big, thick... So it's a Belgian waffle maker?
It's a Belgian waffle maker. Okay, so let's go on
I guess
the
I was just under the impression that they're all Belgian waffles.
Okay, so what makes a waffle Belgian is its light, airy interior, thick grid, and extra deep pockets. So there you go.
I guess I have a Belgian waffle maker.
Well, it's the two main styles.
That wins.
There you go. All right. Well, you know what? This wasn't the
They're better
line I was
than
looking
us.
to go down. There are two kinds of Belgian waffles. They are Brussels waffles and Liège waffles. The Brussels ones are what people think of, like light, crispy on the exterior, fluffy, airy on the inside. And then the Liège waffle is richer and denser. It's more of the street food favorite, a thicky brioche dough rather than a batter, according to what the internet just told me. So there you go. And neither of those, by the way, are the type of waffles we used to have when I was a kid.
Mine's more towards the first one, sorry.
Okay, gotcha. And that's the standard one, right? And the part of that's to do with the batter. You could make both of them in your waffle maker, but the standard batter that a lot of people use is the lighter stuff that you're talking about. But I'll have to get you a Liège waffle recipe at some point, see if you can have some fun, because you generally like things that are a little bit, heartier and richer and denser. So yeah, could be a lot of fun. But again, the type of waffle maker we had when I was a kid was the thin waffles, like the almost Eggo style, but you still made them in a waffle maker. That's the kind of waffle that I've been a part of. But along with learning about foods, as we've learned about everybody who's experienced America and learned that, maybe the politics aren't great, but boy, the food is. It seems to be everybody posting on social media foods. RIP to the Freddy7 guy or whatever, his Twitter or his X profile. He shut it down because people are, instead of just having fun with the posts that he made, are trying to, get at him like everybody always does on social media and dredging up whatever he's said in the past, which I don't know what it was. I honestly don't know. I don't think he was saying something terrible, but some people didn't agree with. Whatever. Point is, we're just here to have fun with the World Cup. And so just have fun with the World Cup, dude. This is the first year, because it's been in the past, it's been 32 teams, and then 32 gets cut down to 16, and then you go forward from there with the knockout rounds. Because FIFA wanted more money, and because you wanted more teams to play from around the world, there's 48 teams this year, which means 32 made it into the knockouts. 32 is a really nice round number for the NFL. So I decided to have a little fun, and I did a straight comparison for countries and NFL teams.
I totally forgot you were going to do this rubbish. Okay, I'm interested to hear this, so we're definitely going to have to keep our takes short unless we want a super episode here.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
So get into this.
We're going to go a little faster going through this. So I'm going to go group by group with who qualified, right? So I'm not going to do brackets. I'm going to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, down
Hold
through
on.
L, okay?
Hold on.
Unless you want me to pull up the bracket. I can pull up the bracket real quick.
Oh, that's what I was going to do. That's literally what I was going to do.
All right, well, let's get the World Cup knockout bracket going here. And again, some of these teams obviously have already been knocked out. By the time you listen to this, hey, half of them might have already been knocked out. But if we look at the bracket and we start up in the upper, upper left corner where I think I might be looking at a different bracket than you are. So I want to make sure that I'm looking at the right one.
I'm trying to go to
I'm
ours
using ESPN's right now.
Where we bet a bottle. Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, let's see if we can pull up the knockout bracket challenge. I'm working on it.
I'm there.
This is the one where you're still beating me, I think, right?
The fantasy tab.
So you're still beating me. So
you have more points possible. I'm just crushing you because I've only gotten one game wrong so far.
Well, yeah, but that was Germany, and you had them in the semifinals.
Shut up.
I'm going to start with that. Germany and Paraguay, right? So Germany, I decided Germany, that's the San Francisco 49ers. It's a team with a ton of history that's been really good in the past and isn't quite as good right now. Now, not injuries in the case of Germany, right? But they and it worked out because they got bounced anyways. And they got bounced by a Paraguay side that I decided, the Washington Commanders. How are they this good? And that's kind of not necessarily last year's Washington Commanders, right? They're a team that, again, historically, it's not going to be a straight one-for-one comparison.
I don't hate that.
Right, because way more teams have won titles in the NFL than have won World Cups, because there's only like 8 or 9 countries that have won World Cups, right? So we're just going to roll with it from there. France and then Sweden played next. The French, I had to have some fun because of how good they've been lately. They had to be one of the better teams. They're the Rams.
Oh, come on. Hold on. Damn. I was going to go somewhere different.
Okay.
I don't know I don't have a team in mind, but like,
sure.
You follow the World Cup a lot closer than I do.
Right.
But I guess I was thinking, because you were telling me basically, and everybody seems to say that the French are. I'm thinking England. My bad. The team. I was thinking they were the team that had the young teenagers relying on the super young talent. Blah blah blah.
No, that's Spain. So yeah, this is about fun, right? This is going to be great. I'm loving it. Okay, so France, I've got the LA Rams. Sweden is the team that they played. Sweden's the Tennessee Titans. That's not like a direct comparison on talent, because Sweden actually has some young talent. And so do the Titans.
That strikes a nerve with me because I'm a hockey guy over soccer, and I love the Sweden players.
Look,
Swedish?
I love
the
Swedish players, right? And Sweden has had some good teams in the past. And Tennessee has had some good teams in the past. So that's where I got that one. But they're in a fun spot right now, right? And again, every team that's made it this far is clearly better than the 12 teams that didn't get to the knockout round. So there's going to be some comparisons with really bad NFL teams are going to get compared to teams that are in the knockout round. So let's just keep that in mind. South Africa and Canada were next. The South Africans, I kind of put them in with the New Orleans Saints. Plucky, kind of interesting from the South, but not really expected to do much. And then they didn't. There you go. Canada, Minnesota Vikings. Not just because Minnesota's almost Canada, but partially because Minnesota's almost Canada. And also, it's a team that's had bits and pieces of success.
If you would just go get me my bottle of bourbon that I want when you go, rye, I should say, when you're on the trip, you would almost be in Canada.
Right? Yeah, I will not be going up there for that. It is. It's like a half an hour from Canada. I will not be going that far north when I go to Minnesota. It's actually got moved. It's going to be towards the end of July now. We'll cross that bridge a little later on. The Netherlands and Morocco, the Dutch, RIP to their campaign right now, but this one was one of the easiest ones for me to do. It's the Buffalo Bills. The Dutch have been so good for so long and just can't seem to win the big one, right? They were in one final back in the 70s.
That checks out.
And it just did not work out for them. Morocco was probably one of the harder teams to put in, only because I don't think there's a straight comparison for them. Oh, do you have it in mind who you would do? Or just because Morocco's the team? Yeah, because that's working out for you.
No, Morocco was one of my teams that I was like, I'm taking them. Yeah,
Yeah, I took the
it was
Dutch,
difficult
and
for
it
me
didn't
to
work out.
do because when we did this, like my third favorite team's technically the Netherlands, so I had
Mhm.
to go against my third favorite team because I felt so strongly about how good Morocco was.
This will make you feel better because the Moroccans I decided are the
The
Philadelphia
Patriots?
Eagles.
Oh
No,
no.
no, because Morocco hasn't had the historical success, and the Eagles are a good team
Oh,
more recently.
okay. You're factoring in for all the teams, like their whole
Yeah, I'm not trying to
history.
do just this
Oh,
year. I'm trying to
that's what I was
hybridize it a
thinking. Okay.
bit, right? So,
All right.
yeah,
All
so
right.
Morocco fits that because it's a team that hasn't had success until recently, but they're also really really tough. Portugal and Croatia. First off, Portugal, they're a team that always seems to be kind of on the cusp of being really good and yet somehow disappointing. So they had to be the Packers. Partially my bias, but they had to be the Packers.
I'm not
I had to
happy
do that
because I've been rooting for Portugal and now I cannot.
Yeah, I never root for Portugal because, and not it's not just because I made the comparison of Cristiano Ronaldo basically being the Aaron Rodgers of soccer, or vice versa, depending how you want to put it. They're both incredibly talented.
You're
and
just
bitches.
killing my cheering for
Killing your
Portugal.
vibe now. All right, Croatia is next. They're the Denver Broncos because man, they just find ways to win games. They've won some stuff in the past. They're plucky.
They're not going
tough.
to win the next game.
They're not going to win the next game, most likely. But I'm banking on them beating Portugal in
Nope.
about 12 minutes from now.
Although I just said it's hard for me to root against it, but you and I are
Right.
opposites on that one, so that's going to be
All
a fun
right.
one.
Well, Spain and Austria, I've got Spain down as the Seattle Seahawks because they're just really freaking good right now, even if you might not understand how or why they're really good. They got young talent. Things are working out for them. And again, they showed it today again when they played Austria and beat them 3-0. Austria, Cincinnati Bengals, right? Because they got some talent. It doesn't usually work out for them, and they're
Are they
overshadowed
criminals?
by other people. They're not criminals. I'm not holding that against them. Well, they might be. I don't know. I wouldn't say it to their faces.
And you
though.
did you pick Austria? Is
I
that
did
the
not.
other
I took
one we're
Spain.
different? Oh yeah.
No, I took Spain in that game.
No,
Sorry,
in the
Austria
next,
is
yeah,
fun.
okay,
yeah. I took Spain.
Oh,
next up-
Australia. You took Australia.
Yeah, I took Australia
I
because
took Egypt.
we'll talk
Yeah.
about them. We'll talk about them when we get there in a bit. So next up, it's the USA and Bosnia. So the Bosnians, man, Carolina Panthers, kind of annoying. Got some talent here and there, but weren't really going to do a whole lot. That's basically how I looked at Bosnia, with a chance to be a little bit, little bit plucky, but that's about it, right? Detroit Lions. I didn't want to make this comparison
hit me
straight
with it.
away. I was trying to stay away
Is
from
it
making
England?
this comp. No,
Just
it's
because
not.
of the. I thought
First
you
off,
were
it's
going to go
USA.
the
We're talking
Lions.
USA. USA and the Lions. Yep, that's the straight comp there because it's a team that has had opportunities to be good, has never broken through, but everyone's so optimistic about their chances every time, and that's the Detroit Lions. So the U.S. Detroit had to happen.
Is
even though we're Lions
Cleveland
fans here.
Congo?
No, I didn't want to do that to Congo.
Oh.
That's rude.
It is.
All right, we'll get to that in a minute. Belgium and Senegal was the next game. Of course, Belgium, who the U.S. are playing next up, and the Belgians I had in as the Baltimore Ravens, a team that is talented, should be better than they are, and always finds a way to screw up.
The team that we both, I think, took to the Super Bowl this year.
Well, yeah, you're right, but they're
Or
going
I
to find a way
did.
to screw it up. Yeah. They're going to find a way to screw it up because they always do. Senegal, who actually found a way to screw it up against Belgium. It was tough with some of the teams because there's no good comp for Senegal. But Senegal has some incredibly talented strikers and some interesting pieces. Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got guys like, Hunter and Trevor Lawrence, guys that you like, but
BTJ?
they haven't put it all together yet. Yep. Have not put it all together yet.
Tootin'.
The other side of the bracket.
Sorry. I get
Scootin'
excited for
tootin'. Exactly. Brazil, there's your New England Patriots. Why?
Huh?
They've won a bunch of titles. They're really good again, but they aren't quite as good as they used to be.
I
That's
was hoping
Brazil
the
and New
Patriots
England,
were going to
straight
be
comp.
Germany.
No, we'll get to them in a minute.
Can I
think.
explain
we
that?
already did Germany. Just kidding. We already did Germany. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I explain that real quick? So I feel
Mhm.
like Germany, like historically, totally cut me off if I'm wrong.
No, you're good.
But historically, isn't like Germany and Brazil like the best too?
They're right up there. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're the best
Yeah.
two, but
And then
Germany is right in there.
And then Germany now gets bounced, so I feel like it kind of aligns with the Patriots were a complete dynasty for a
Sure.
ridiculously long time, and
Mm-hmm.
and they're just kind of
But the
slowly
reason why-
figuring it out.
But the reason why I made that comparison is because this year's Brazil team, a lot of people have going into like the semifinals, which is the Patriots made it to the Super Bowl, right?
I haven't won it at all.
But they had a dip. But they had a dip beforehand for the last couple. Like they had a last couple cups. They didn't do so hot. They were good, but they weren't winning it like they did earlier. So exactly, fighting those off. So that's why I got Brazil down as the Patriots. Japan.
Is it cool that I call that out every time?
That was good. Yeah, because we have to. Look, I always tell people, it's like, as long as you tell people,
what's going on,
what is happening and what's going on, you're in good shape. I got to come back to Japan because I screwed up and put Denver in there twice. Because apparently I thought both of them were plucky in that. So whichever team I haven't talked about now out of all of these is whoever I have
Default
for Japan. We'll come back to them in a minute, I guess. Sorry about that, because the Japanese
mystery.
They were a hard team to peg because they have talent. They have like some fun vibes for the team, but they don't have like that top end quality. So
I'm gonna try to think of who Japan is
shuffling
now.
In there, right? And actually, you know what? I could move because I made
don't do it yet. Keep going. I want to try to figure out who I think Japan is, and then see if that's the team you missed.
Ivory Coast and Norway are the next two. Ivory Coast is the New York Jets. I couldn't come up with a good comp for them. I was running out of teams. But I can see that a little bit there, where it's a team that has some sneaky talent and didn't quite work out for them. Norway, they're the New York Giants because they've got some.
That's what I thought I was going to say Japan was.
No, I had Norway in there because Norway's got fun young talent, right? Erling Haaland, guys like that. Haaland, I feel like Erling Haaland and Cam Skadabu would be friends and accidentally get each other injured. Like Haaland doesn't have the injury history Skadabu does, but I just feel like all those guys would hang out in New York if they could. And that'd be a great comp for them. Mexico and Ecuador. The Mexican team, again, who's been having a great run so far. They're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I picked them. You didn't.
Yeah, I know. Well, because, again, I got buddies from Ecuador. So I had to use my heart instead of my head on that one. But so the Steelers for Mexico. Why? Usually very good. Really tough to play against. Usually don't get the job done. Now, obviously, historically, the Steelers did, but recently...
70s they did.
Exactly, the Steelers haven't. And Mexico was really good back then, too, right? So, but Mexico, the last, 7 World Cups, they've gotten bounced in the round of 16, and that's where they're playing England, who's coming up next, and they're playing them in the round of 16 coming up in Estadio Azteca, which is one of the hardest places in the world to play a home team in. Real quick, though, Ecuador, defensive-minded, kind of team that's always a pain in the butt to play against, but can't necessarily score. Cleveland Browns. Good defense, terrible offense.
You're salty because you got that one wrong.
Very, very salty, but also true.
Mm-hmm.
England are the Dallas Cowboys, man. And always are a year and never actually going to do it. It hurts me because I have England in the semifinals. And that was also because I figured Ecuador was going to beat Mexico and then England beat Ecuador. So I could faceplant hard with that one. The Congo, who I don't remember who you threw up earlier when we were talking about.
I thought it was Cleveland. Is it Miami?
Right. Atlanta. Because the Congo, sneaky, could be good, has a lot of flaws, and that's kind of what happened to them in the knockout game that they had, where, again, they were leading England, and then they crumbled at the end. And then the last part of the bracket that haven't actually played games yet, Argentina. Look, Argentina's the Kansas City Chiefs. They're just freaking good, and they have an old guy leading the charge. Pretty much covers it for them. Cape Verde, one of the best stories in the World Cup this year, right? And so Cape Verde, I've got them down, or Cabo Verde, depending. It's the Los Angeles Raiders. Why? Or Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, right? Oh. Fun young guys.
True.
Great
once
story.
Upon a time.
Right. Also a guy in his 40s that everyone knows now, because their goalkeeper now has 16 million followers when he had 100,000 before this thing started. He's a 40-year-old goalkeeper. And then, the Raiders have got Tom Brady. So you got that going for you. Australia and Egypt, the Aussies, I had them down for the Arizona Cardinals. Why? A lot of desert out in Australia. There's a lot of desert in Arizona. There's a couple fun little things here and there, but it's probably not going to work out well. Yeah, Australia. That being said, I still have them beating Egypt, which might not sound great from the comparison I'm about to make, but Egypt, that's Los Angeles Chargers. Egypt is. But I have Egypt and the Chargers. Why? Because the Chargers should be good, and you think they're better than they have been, just like Egypt got their first World Cup win this year. And they beat New Zealand, which I was salty about. But still, it's like Egypt you think should be better because they got Mo Salah, guys like that, but they haven't proven it yet. So we'll see what happens there. And again, same thing with the Chargers. Switzerland and Algeria, the Swiss, I kind of stuck in the middle of the country. Indianapolis Colts, right? Team that's good, heartland, does some things, but ultimately is probably not going to hang at the same level as everybody else. That's kind of where that's at. Algeria, they're the Dolphins. No offense to Algeria, but they're just a team that didn't pop for me. Ghana, that's the Houston Texans. Why? Sneaky good. Probably won't actually make it happen, but could be interesting. That being said, they're playing Colombia. That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why? Because they're good, but we're not sure how good they are. And it's kind of been Tampa for the last since Tom retired.
Yep.
Yeah. And then there's Japan, who would be the other team. Yeah. Japan, who's the other team that I didn't remember who I put on here. So whichever, I'll have to go back through as you're talking about one of your teams and see, and we'll come back to Japan.
We're going to end the show with that.
We're going to have to because we spent 20 minutes on this so far. So let's get into the actual topic of the show today.
Tight.
So again, this is why we timestamp these things. I think we can manage it. So why don't we start off? We talked about the Big 12 last time. It's the ACC and it's the Independents this time around. And again, the ACC with its conference stretching across the whole country. We're starting off with your favorite team, though.
We are. So, well, I guess I'll just get that out of the way right now. Boston College, baby. Definitely my favorite ACC team. Not even close. So the only one that was up for debate-ish was the Big 12. But I feel pretty good about it being the Mountain Mamas. Is that going to be a thing on our show now?
It needs to be. I'm going to remind you.
But yeah, you know what? It's tough times in Boston right now. It is. I only have one guy, but I actually like this one guy quite a bit. Like, he might even have a chance of being a day 3 pick. His name's KP Price.
Okay. He's on my list too.
94 tackles, 2 picks. Let's go. Like, it's safety. Sorry. Like, I'm excited when I see safeties up there, even in the 80s, let alone the 90s. And then you sprinkle in a couple picks. I'm going to be watching him for sure.
And you give me a guy who's 205, 6'2"? Yeah. That is spot on safety size. Love that.
Yep.
And again, safeties can come in all shapes and sizes, but you give me a guy who's a little bit over 6 foot, we're in the right direction with that.
New rule.
Yeah.
When you say who your favorite team is in the conference is when you get to that team. So I did it right on this episode because I led with it. So you don't tell me who it is until you get there.
All right. I will wait on that, and I'm not going to start out with my favorite team. Is my second favorite team in the conference. That's the Clemson Tigers. Because I do love Clemson, but I got a deep, seated tie to one other team here. Several players from Clemson. Obviously, Sammy Brown, who you've already talked about, so I'm not going to talk about him. Because we have, but Bryant Westco Jr., Chris Johnson Jr., TJ Moore, Ashton Hampton, and then Will Helt is the guy I am going to talk about as we stay on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of people do. I think he might. We talked about this. I think you said he might be your favorite, like Clemson edge, though.
In a while, quite a bit. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Because the other guys they've had that I like.
I think I would still pick Sammy Brown over Helt for sure. But you're correct.
He's
my favorite edge from Clemson in quite some time.
Yeah, and again, I liked several of the guys on the defensive line that you thought were dumb, and you've been right so far on pretty much all of them. So I think we're both on board with Will Helt, though, because at 6'6", 260, he is the closest guy we've seen to that Hutch-ish type body in a couple seasons. I'm not saying he's the level of Aiden Hutchinson, but he has that body, right? He's the closest to that style. Because a lot of the guys who are 6'6", are also like pushing 290 or something usually. So this is a guy who's in that size-weight ratio that you like to see. 10 sacks last year, had 45 total pressures on 342 snaps. So, and with the sacks and hits being at 19 out of 342, it's good. It's not transcendent, but it's solid. And as a guy who should get better this year, it's in good shape. And again, if he's teaming up with Sammy, the two of them will make things very interesting on the teams they're playing this year. So Clemson, once again, hope springs eternal, and hopefully they don't faceplant this season.
All right, this is funny because now I got to skip down quite a ways again. I got to go all the way to Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. It's a one-horse race. You could, for the sake of time, don't give me the names. Just how many for Georgia Tech do you have? I only have one. I have one.
Okay.
Tell me if Kyle Efford's one of them.
No, he's not.
Hater.
That's kind of funny. I got two running backs that you don't have.
Yeah, they haven't done a damn thing yet to make
Justice
me
Haynes.
Think of it. Yeah.
Michigan transfer. Are you salty? Is it because he's transferred from Michigan?
He still just hadn't really done anything other than look okay and then get hurt. Like, I haven't seen enough.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Kyle Efford, 77 tackles, 2 for a loss, 1.5 sacks, no picks, but 2 pass deflections. Grades out awful in the passing game. I have a UDFA grade on him.
Mm-hmm.
I could not find anybody on this team that I really just wanted to plant the flag. I know that's kind of like the theme of this series, but
look, you don't have to. Don't force it. Don't force it, man.
Have to pick one, and he was the only one.
We gotta have someone to talk about. Doesn't mean we have to be somewhere that's gonna be a my guy by the end of the season.
No. This is just a plant the flag like early on. This is kind of like a precursor to who my guys could be for if you're looking for a my guy per team. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right, I'll give you that.
This doesn't guarantee him as a my guy.
All right.
No way.
Well, I'm moving on to the Duke Blue Devils, and there were a couple of guys that would have been my guys, but they kind of moved on to another school that we'll talk about here in a little while. But I've got 4 guys. I've got Jeremiah Halsey, Nick Delgrand, Jared Richardson, Deshaun Stone. Nick Delgrand is the guy that I like.
One of those.
Nice. Delgrand is a tweener on the offensive line, so he's the kind of guy that I like, but I have no idea where he's going to end up. So instead, I'm going to talk about Jared Richardson, and Jared Richardson is one of the transfers that they brought in this year when they needed to because of the attrition that they had. This is a wide receiver who's 6'2", 215, so already the size is spot on what you want. He obviously going to Duke, which is a very good academic institution, even if you don't necessarily like their sports, whatever. This kid came from Penn, so he went from Ivy League to Duke. Right? And so Penn is a step down. But last year, 80 catches, 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. Again, Ivy League, but
it's pretty good.
Exactly.
I was going to try to battle you because I think his name's going to be pronounced almost like French, like Mergot, but it's Mergott, but it's a linebacker. Luke Mergot.
Well, of course. Of course you have a linebacker.
I like it. Yeah, man. 2 picks, 3 pass deflections. Come on.
Yeah, it's either going to be Mergot or Mergot, and we're just, not even doing the pronunciation thing that way. But yeah, he's another guy who technically is going to be a true junior this year, so it'll be interesting to see if he chooses to stay or go as players are figuring out what they're going to do going forward. But yeah, Duke's got a couple interesting pieces, but they are going to take a step back from last year. Now, the funny thing is, a step back from last year, they might still end up being 7-5. They're just not going to play for the title this year.
Louisville Cardinals. This was the easiest one in this conference for me, for sure. Not even close. How long have I been talking about Clev Lubin? He's
feels like 2 years.
It feels like you have to say he's a my guy at this point.
Well, how old is Clev? Because you've been talking about him since he's...
Nobody knows. Nobody. I cannot find a birthday. He might be
somewhere between 21, 21 and 25, right?
Yeah,
that's great.
So here, Clev Lubin, man. You know what? I need I have the stats from last year where he had like 11 sacks, 14 hits, poop ratio 8.3.
Right.
But let me just give you. Let me type him into the old reference database place or whatever the hell that's called, Sports Reference.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have to verify that I'm a
Pro Football Reference or College Football Reference or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
So they only show 2 years in 2024 when he's at Coastal Carolina in the old Sun Belt. Dude, 9.5 sacks, 12 for a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to first year at Louisville and a big step up ish. Then he goes from he goes only 8.5 sacks versus a 9.5, but he's got 13.5 tackles for a loss.
Right.
Gets about 20 more tackles, 2 more pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles in both years. Dude, I've just been a fan of this guy ever since
his
he
progression,
was with Coastal Carolina.
Right, his progression is what you like to see because he only had like 440 snaps his Coastal Carolina year, and then he jumped up to almost 600 this last year. So that's what you want to see, that type of production expanding as he's moving up with the number of snaps.
And mind you, I have him listed as an edge rusher who's kind of more along the lines of an outside linebacker, but they list him as playing as D-line.
Well, it's because he's listed as 260. So he's one. I don't know where they're going to put him. He could go just about anywhere within that edge. Yeah. He strikes me as in that edge world that could also jump in and do some third down D tackle work, if you're trying to put a bunch of rushers on the field. Florida State Seminoles. I believe that's the next team that we're talking about. 3 guys. You have more than 3?
I have 3. Hey,
it'd be
Are
really
they
funny.
The same?
Probably not. They haven't even been close.
Well,
so
I know
far.
we both have Deuce Robinson for sure.
Yes. I've also got Jamari Sands and Quatravian Wisner, though, two of their transfer running backs. So
the other two are completely different. I have Makai Dancy and Mandrell Desir.
Our list is going to be so good this year. And so many guys that aren't even going to get drafted. It's going to be wonderful. But yeah, Deuce Robinson. I know we're not going to talk about the guy that a lot of people talk about all the time, but we've been a fan of him, for a minute now, right? So he is a guy that when I tried to type him into PFF right now, decided that he was a D lineman at Appalachian State. So clearly I typed that name in wrong, but. Deuce Robinson is a player that we've talked about for, I feel like not a couple seasons now, but at least for a little while, because I was big on him last year coming in when he was a player that last season. I'm guessing he must not be named as Deuce is what it is. So I'm trying to pull up his stats right now, and they've just decided he's not Deuce right now with this team, I guess. So I guess we'll go, regardless, this is a player that I was impressed with. I thought he could have been interesting as more or less a day 3 guy last year coming out, right? Because he's got the size. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, obviously. But he's got the size. He's a player who seems like he's been able to fight his way into getting the kind of the reps that he needs to have. And he did it with an ACC program. So he's not one of those guys that's bouncing from he has transferred, but he's not a guy who spent last year. I was talking about that with a guy from Duke, but didn't spend last year necessarily at a smaller school. So that's why I've been spelling Deuce with the E or with the
it's D-U-E-C-E.
But it's just D-U-E. It's D-U-C-E. Yeah. And again, so last year, 56 catches, 1,000 yards, almost 20 yards a pop. And that's my point. And it's 6'6", 230. He's a huge wide receiver, right? So you talk about size. Size is an understatement. He's basically the size of some tight ends. So the question is what his role is going to be. How does he carry that 230? What's his speed going to be like? But he has a role at the next level, even if it's just as a jump ball guy that's in certain packages here and there. He has a great chance this year with Florida State to be able to push that up a little bit.
Dude, I had his name spelled wrong the whole time. I had D-U-E-C-E.
Well, it's D-U-C-E, and I had the extra E in there too. So we both screwed it up. Go team.
Whoopsie.
You like the way I tried to banter my way through that mistake? We're showing it. Yep. I messed that one up. Cheers.
That's cool.
Who's next?
Oh man, I got 8 players from the Hurricanes.
Sure, same.
It was really. Oh God, now we're gonna have to do this. All right, I got Menza, Fletcher Jr., Wilson Jr., Barkate, Toure, Frederic Jr.,
sure,
Poyser, and Moten Sr. There's juniors and seniors all over the place.
Well, there's a bunch of them, yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of those. Which one do you want to talk about, though?
Came down to 2 people. I almost did Moten Sr.
You have been talking about him a bit.
I know, and I do like him. He's a contender to almost maybe be, but before the season starts, my D tackle 1. But, dude, I've been talking about Damon Wilson for a while.
Aha.
How do I not pick him? Coming out of Missouri, dude, he's 8. I just like the way he looks. He had 8 sacks. He had 9 hits. His poop ratio is only a 5.3, which isn't awful, but creates a ton of pressure. His pressure percentage is almost 17%. Just needs to close the deal a little more. Yeah, needs to close the deal a little more. And he's a little thinner, so he's more of an outside linebacker like style, I guess, just based on his strength and whatnot. But dude, he's quick, he's long, he's got the bend. There's something there I like. So
sure,
he's an early candidate to be my guy too. We'll see.
Well, another team that I got 2 running backs on is, and you already did Georgia Tech. Just kidding. So I am all over the place. You got North Carolina State, right? I got North Carolina. That's next, right? We're doing this alphabetical thing, and it's throwing me off because you haven't said Cal yet, have you?
I have North Carolina State and North Carolina now after we did our swapperooskies with shifting a little bit early on.
So, geez, I don't even have.
I skipped Cal.
I'm all over the place. You skipped Cal.
I skipped Cal.
That was throwing me off big time, dude. Because I'm looking at the numbers here.
I'll do Cal after you do your next team.
No, you're fine. So would Pittsburgh be my next team then, alphabetically?
Yeah.
You got all right. So the Panthers were an effort, by the way. I managed to find 3.
I have 4.
Oh, all right. Who are your 4?
How do I always have more for your teams than you have more for my teams?
I don't know.
We need to do
some
trades or something.
We're gonna sort this out before the season starts.
I have Braylon Lovelace. I have Isaiah Neal, Jimmy Scott, and Ryan Baer.
We have two of the same. Baer and Lovelace are the two that we share. I've got
the other two are D linemen.
All right, cool. So I have Rayon Strader, who is a corner. So I guess that's who I will talk about because you didn't have him on your list.
Tune out.
Right. And Strader is another guy who transferred in, right? So 6 foot 180, a little thinner than you'd like him to be, maybe, but he's got a weird career so far, right? This guy played 2 years at Miami of Ohio, and then last year transferred to Auburn, right? Huge step up in competition, and now went to Pitt. So I can tell you how things went for him at Auburn. But the 2 years he had at Miami of Ohio, 10 passes defense as a freshman, 13 as a sophomore, and then struggled to crack the lineup with Auburn. So I'll be very curious with him. This is a day 3 guy that has all the potential in the world to move himself up if he has a good season this year. But because he put the tape down at Auburn, where he only played like 180 snaps over the course of the season, and it wasn't because he was hurt from the look of things, right? He just didn't really crack their lineup. If he can start with Pittsburgh and have a good season this year and show what he did with Miami, well, now we're talking. Because again, he's got 25 passes defense, 3 interceptions, but still in his time, playing. But again, all of that was at the MAC level, not at the SEC level. And now he's trying to see if ACC is more his speed.
All right. Well, unless it's halftime, I don't know where we're at.
Now get Cal out of the way.
All right. So Cal, I had 3 players, and I'm gonna be honest with you. They're all pretty even. Like I still don't know who I'm going to highlight in yellow, but I have Chase Hendricks, Ian Strong, and Dorian Thomas.
Ooh, I've also got Mason Minnie, but otherwise we are the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna chase the numbers on this one just because it's pretty close for me. Like going into this, I thought where did Ian Strong transfer from? Rutgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him a lot at Rutgers. So, you know what? I'm going to say Ian Strong because everybody's going to say Chase Hendricks because he had 71 grabs for 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. I'm just going to say I think Ian Strong it might be better and was just on a team that just couldn't give him the opportunities to put up those types of numbers. So this would be curious seeing those 2 wide receivers go head-to-head. And then if anyone's curious, Dorian Thomas is a tight end, who also, as a tight end, had 56 grabs, 560 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So this is wide open as far as I'm concerned. Like
it's a strange combo.
Yeah. So Ian Strong will be my guy that I put in yellow.
There you go. Yeah, and again, I'm very curious about him. I had to remind myself 3 times that he transferred over the course of his run. So we will jump into the North Carolina schools and everything else in the ACC, including my favorite school, which we haven't gotten to yet, in a little bit. But first things first.
Oh, I know who yours is, though.
Yeah, I know. But nobody else does. So I want you, though, to talk about this beer that you were very, surprised about, I guess, when we cracked them open and started drinking today.
I'm going to refuse to rate it until the end because I'm a little back and forth on it, but it is good. I'll tell you this. I think the floor on this thing is probably a 3.5.
Oh, all right.
Floor. So we'll see.
That's a good spot to start.
Yeah. It's by 3 Floyds, which,
Fort Wayne boys. Yeah, Fort Wayne boys.
It's I don't know if this is like an anniversary type thing because it says 3 Floyds, 30 years, 1996 to 2006.
Okay, so that's.
I honestly don't know if this is a new one.
I think it's just
added
the brewery
for this.
Yeah,
or they just put the stamp on there.
Yeah, I think it's their brewery is at 30 years.
No, but I don't know if they created this beer for the 30th anniversary because I've never seen this one. I'm gonna do
a little research while you talk about it.
But it's a double India Pale Ale. It's called War Mullet. It had some pretty crazy can art. I was joking with you though, it's got like these mythical like warriors with swords and spears and their skulls on them. Like they should have left the mullet on the skull.
There you go.
I think just if the name's War Mullet.
Right.
But I'm here to tell you, man, this is it. The reason I'm back and forth with it is it feels like every other like one sip, I taste it and I get all the hoppy and I can tell there's an 8.1%. I said that at the beginning of the show, but I get a lot of the hoppy IPA vibes that are very enjoyable. But like when you get to the double IPAs, like we talk about how it tends to maybe get some of that, it takes some of the bite off and it gets a little bit of like the sweeter vibe. I get that about every third sip, a little bit of that where it gets a little malty, but it really doesn't. So that's why I'm thinking, that's why I say the floor's a 3.5. I'll do another part take on this to end the show once I get through it, but that's all I'm going to say for now.
Well, if you get to a 3.5, I need to drink
it's
that.
It's a 3.5.
Right, you do. I will be trying.
I demand that you drink this one.
Yes, I will find one. The nice thing about West Michigan is you can find that stuff. I was on their website real quick, pulling it up, and no, it is not like a special one-off or anything like that. It is just a beer that they made, and it's one that makes you want to grow a mullet, apparently. But I scrolled down a little bit, and this is, I'm today years old, if you will. I did not realize that Three Floyds fully owns War Pig as well, which is another brewery.
And I like that foggy,
foggy geezer
or whatever. Yeah, that's really good.
Because they were a split with a brew pub in Copenhagen in Denmark with Mikkeller, but they apparently in 2021 they split up. So there you go. I saw the website, bounce down there. So I am drinking an IPA that's a little different than that. It is not so much something that'll grow you a mullet, but it will grow you all kinds of body hair, and that is the Little Wookie. It's a little Wookiee. It's got two kind of fun-looking Wookiees
can
in there.
art and name.
The can art was part of the reason.
Went black and white, and then just the little brown thing.
Yeah, and then the little Wookiee. This is from Arvon Brewing. Arvon is a Grand Rapids brewery, and so they're one of those weird ones. It's like the brewery is only open like weekends, so like Thursday through Saturday kind of a thing, right? But they still can their beer, and they put it in Meyer. They put it in stores. Obviously, I got this one at Siciliano's. But they have fun beer. Exactly. But it's just not as widely distributed. So you're not going to find this outside of the Grand Rapids area. But this is, at least what they say, is 6.7 West Coast style IPA hopped with Columbus, Simcoe, and Chinook. So this, I didn't know this was a West Coast because it only says India Pale Ale inside. You remember what I was talking about with the last one? I did not plan, actually, on our double up episode to double up on West Coast IPAs. I literally just saw that on here. I like this one better. This is now a better this is one of my favorite West Coast IPAs because it doesn't, I remember talking about last time, there was that bitterness that lingered on the other one and not in a good way. This one doesn't have that. This is well balanced. It lines up with what a West Coast IPA usually is. I guess you can say a little fresher in a certain way to just a standard IPA. It's a little less bitter in different ways, but it isn't towards the hazy or something like that. This feels like what I think a West Coast should be. And maybe that's my opinion, but still a little Wookiee. Definitely something that is fun. It's probably sitting around about a 3.25, 3.5. It's not great because, again, I would say it's like anything that's coming in that's in the West Coast really has to wow you to move up. But it's a very solid, as far as West Coast. Definitely like it better than the last one. And then I had to jump on. You talked about the stuff that you've been trying recently. This past weekend, the wife wanted to do a little day trip up to Traverse City, and so thankfully enough, her parents have got a place like halfway up toward Cadillacs in northern Michigan. So we stopped there, did the day, came back, and she does a wine trip every year, and decided to take me to some of the wineries that she likes to go to. And I used to run a champagne and cocktail bar, so I can appreciate, as much as we drink beer, as much as we talk bourbon, I can appreciate a glass of wine too that's done properly. And we hit several wineries. Those of you who want that are in the Midwest and want a fun spot to go for a weekend and don't want to deal with a cherry festival, Traverse City has a hilarious number of wineries because that part of Michigan, the climate is just perfect for growing certain varieties of grapes, right? I mean, even your dogs want to know about the wine. That's why they're coming up in the back.
That's what I'm petting right now. You see him?
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, see, he's like, hey, you've been doing the show too long. But we went to several different ones when we were up there. Chateau Chantal, we started out at, and I'll be honest with you, the view is amazing. The wine is kind of meh, at least stuff that we had. A bit sad when you're looking at it that way. But we went to Bonobo, which is one of her favorite places when she used to go to that place several years ago. But they used to have this huge swing. You get your picture taken in, and apparently they got rid of it. I don't know if it was for safety reasons or whatever, but sad times. But that's one of the ones that because of where it's located, if you're there towards the end of the evening, you're going to see the sun set over the one half of the Traverse Bay, and just hang out. It's a good view. There's no doubt. Like the views they've got with the way that the land kind of spits up there, really good. And again, they had to sell. I actually had a Chardonnay there, which I'm not a huge Chardonnay fan, but that one was good too. But the two that we went to that had wines that I liked in one case, and she loved to the extent of buying 2 bottles of it, was the Bryce Estate. Bryce Estate is a BRYS. They had it was a Riesling Gris combo. So Rieslings can be sweet, they can be dry. In the case of what she was drinking, this is for anybody people are wine, they know that. But if you're a beer drinker or a bourbon drinker, this is so you can, just a little tip so you can try to sound cool with your wine people. This was, it was a Pinot Gris combo with a Riesling, and she freaking loved it. I was indifferent on it. I thought it was all right. Because it wasn't as, I like the slightly more tart wines, like some of the stone fruit that you get in some of the Sauvignon Blanc, stuff like that. This one had a little sweetness to it, so she was a huge fan of that one. And again, which was great for me because it was one of the cheaper bottles, so love when that happens. So that one was a fun spot. And then Peninsula. For those of you who do go up on these kind of trips, find a chance to pop into Peninsula because it is a one-room schoolhouse they turned into a winery. So the vibe is fun anyways. And they've got the number 2 pencils that you scratch which wines you want to get, right? And they had one, on their menu that was a style of wine that we hadn't had before. And I cannot remember the name of it right now, the type of wine that it was. But basically it was a version that is big in Austria, of all places. At least that's where the name came. And it was a red that had some attitude to it. And as you've noted from when we've drank beer and bourbon, you and I both are the kind of people who like things that are a little more interesting, right? Mm-hmm. And so you've got to have something going on with your wine or with your beer or with your whatever, because some people love something that's just super basic, right? Super standard, one note, hammer that note, call it good. I personally prefer, even in my less complex wines, if you will, or beer or bourbon, I still want something that's going to be fun, right? And so we decided the one that we liked out of all of those was a blend that we hadn't had before, and it worked out really well. And I'll have to bring that up another time because I did not write it down. But it is one of those words that is German just by seeing it written. Good wine, good stuff. Let's jump to the second half of the ACC. You, sir, have a couple North Carolina schools to talk about.
I do. I'll start with North Carolina State, because that technically comes before North Carolina.
Depending how you do it, yeah.
Wolfpack. Tar Heels, I guess, the way we sorted this, because, yeah, it's doing the state before the Tar Heels.
There you go.
But anyhow, I got one.
I've got 3.
Okay, hit me with it. What do you got?
Well, look, C.J. Bailey's a bit of a reach, but still, he's on there. Jaden Scott at running back, and then King Mack at safety.
Looked at the other 2 that I don't have, considered it, wasn't super crazy, but I just went with the reach. C.J. Bailey's 20-year-old kid. There's no shot I think he comes out in this class unless he has a phenomenal season. But I'm here to tell you, he's coming off a year, only 3,100 yards, but the touchdown to interception ratio 25-9 isn't awful.
It improved.
I think so. That's the only guy. So I guess that's what I'm going with.
He's
for
6'6" as well.
Yeah, I like the size.
He's a little light right now. They've got him listed at 213, but he's also 20. So you could
he's
probably
20.2. He just May 10th.
Right. And I expect him to stay. Like, I expect him to still be in this class next year and be towards the top of the class, especially if he can put on 10 pounds and not affect the rest of his game. All right. Do you have Southern Methodist or do I? Because I feel like I've mixed some of this stuff up.
I have SMU.
That's what I thought, yeah. So I'm on to Stanford. The Cardinal, 2. I had to stretch for 2.
There's a slam dunk. There's a guy in here who's already a my guy because he was a my guy last year and he went back to school.
Okay, well, who's your my guy from Stanford?
Matt Rose, linebacker.
Right.
Shocker.
So, yeah, sorry. Matt Rose, actually, I forgot to put on here. So he's the 3rd.
What the hell?
I forgot that he was still in. Javion or Jay Green, and then Nicky Prognos is the other one.
I have Nicky. I have Brandon Nicholson, though, too, at cornerback.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. So, but Prognos is the guy that we'll talk about because I know you're going to talk about Rose at least 18 times throughout the course of this year, so I'm not so worried about him getting a conversation. Prognos is a weird read for me because he was a guy that some people thought might have come out last year, but he didn't have the best season last year. His pass blocking numbers were good. Good, not great, because he still had 6 sacks. 6 sacks and still at a 75 somehow. So he had a weird year from that standpoint. But again, he's still learning how to play left tackle at 6'7" and 315. And his run blocking needs to improve. So no one from Stanford, no offense to your Rose guy, none of them feel like, first day or second day picks to me. These all kind of feel like 4th round and later at the moment. We'll see how your linebacker does as he goes through the rest of the season.
Ooh, well, he's probably, I look at him and I think like at this point, like 3rd, 4th round is probably like his best. But we'll see. I just like him.
Sure. Nothing wrong with that. Let's go on to the Tar Heels, man.
Tar Heels.
I got two.
I have random just lines where the font size is bigger than the other ones. I had to fix that.
You might be copying and pasting or something.
I don't know what I was doing. I have 3 Tar Heels, but this is a slam dunk guy that, what do you got?
Well, I've got Melkart, and then I've got Aiden Banfield.
Oh, well, the one we have in common is the guy that I'm going to talk about, but I also have Jordan Shipp and Jelani Thurman.
You have Melkart, more faith in them than I do.
Jaude.
I'm guessing
he's French.
We got
it sounds French.
No. Well, I'm not sure if he's French. He very easily could be some combination of French and North African, Middle Eastern. Who knows? We're gonna have to call North Carolina.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to call North Carolina's sports information and be like, "How do you say his name?" Because we don't want to offend the man.
All I got to say is he's an edge rusher. He had 12 sacks,
dude. 3-week run.
Yeah,
3-week run where he had 3 sacks in each of the games against Virginia, Syracuse, Stanford.
7 hits. Poop ratio is only a 5.6, but my goodness, he had 42 pressures. Pressure percentage is only a 12.43. This has got vibes of like poor man's Ruben Bain, because he's got these crazy good numbers, but he's got 338 pass rush snaps.
He's got more production than Ruben even had.
Yeah, but he's
plus
we'll see.
He's gonna have longer arms. He's got to have longer arms at 6'5".
Almost impossible not to.
Right.
But if you go by those are PFF numbers, which I should have highlighted on all these episodes.
Right.
Because like I do that because I feel like more people look at that. Mm-hmm. But like he technically only had 10.5 sacks with 12 tackles for loss.
Right, which is always it's fun trying to figure out those numbers when we're going off of 2 different concepts of what they're doing here. But for poop reasons, he sits in there, and he again 9 of his 12 sacks they're crediting him for came in 3 games. So he is still someone we're trying to figure out what's going to happen with him. He could be a 1st rounder or a 7th rounder, and neither thing would surprise me.
Definitely closer to 7s.
Yes, agreed. Definitely. Yeah, so I got to look in a little more Tar Heel world. Well, we finally got there. We finally got to my favorite team, and good Lord, are they not looking good this year. It's the Syracuse Orange, because I came very close to going to Syracuse for college, but this was in 2000, and it was $30,000 a year then, too. So that wasn't happening. But the Orange, I have 2 players, right? I've got Tunmise Adele at edge rusher. Could be an interesting pickup. But then the guy that everybody has on their boards,
I have 2
relatively towards the top of their boards, is Chris Peel.
Yep, so I have Peel and Davian Kerr.
Okay, so there you go. We got another one.
Both corners.
Yeah. Well, Peel. So again, stop listening, Detroit Lions. But we talked about from last episode. Chris Peel, 6'1", 200. Dude, talk about the perfect size, for a corner.
Yeah.
Still got that flexibility. Still got that.
Wish he could get a pick, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, in his defense, he only had 1 season starting, right? And that was this last year at Syracuse. But 5 passes defensed. The higher percentage than you like. He gave up 64% on the catches. Like that's how many he completed.
Hit me with the strength. The reason I like him.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons why I like him is he actually tackles a little bit. I mean, dude had over 50 tackles. But he also, even within all those numbers too, he still only gave up 358 yards. So, yes, guys might have gotten catches, but this is a corner that can tackle?
And those tackles, a decent amount of them. I know you gave some numbers there to contradict it a little bit, but a decent amount of those came from him being willing to play the run, which is why I'm intrigued.
Yeah, and that is something that at the next level, you absolutely need to have when you're going into the NFL. Like, if you are not the guy and the lockdown corner, if you will, or something like that, you need to be able to, and really every guy should be able to tackle anyways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Deion Sanders got away with it for a while, but, nobody else is going to. There's no doubt about that.
Virginia Cavaliers. I have one. How many do you have?
Ooh, I have a handful.
Oh, wait.
Of Cavaliers.
Save that. I skipped SMU. I can't do this
don't
again.
ditch your Mustangs, man.
I also only have one.
Oh, I have 6.
Really?
Yep.
Enlighten me.
I have got P.J. Williams, Jimmy Wyrick,
Yes,
Addison Nichols, Yannick Smith, Kevin Jennings, and Joshua Bates. Is Wyrick your guy?
No, PJ.
PJ. Okay, gotcha.
PJ's my guy, but I'm going to have to rely on you. I cannot get into I didn't put down the PFF grades, but PJ Williams, I think I haven't poked around too much, but I feel like he's a day 2 tackle type guy where people are projecting him right now. I don't know if I put him there or not.
Well,
but
he had a good year last year, man.
He did.
Mind you, he is
a
5th-year guy this year, so you'd hope he's going to be good. But he had an 80 overall and an 80.3 run block, 76 pass block, 2 sacks, 16 total pressures, though. Mind you, that was on 450 pass blocking snaps. 5 penalties, so the penalties number is actually okay.
Not great,
but
okay. To me, he's like a 4th round grade at this point. We'll see what happens, but that's kind of where I feel. But I feel like, again, I haven't looked around at like mock draft database or any Tinkathon or anything like that. But I feel like others are definitely higher on him. But I'm super
I want to
intrigued.
point out too, right? With him though as well, this is a right tackle. He played a little left tackle 2 years before. Last year he was fully right tackle, and I think I haven't talked to guys at SMU. I think they're keeping him a right tackle.
I think so too. So I'm intrigued. It's the only guy. So he's in yellow.
Well, you have the Virginia Cavaliers next. I've got the other Virginia team, the Virginia Tech Hokies, otherwise known as, I guess, Penn State East. I'm kidding, but they got James Franklin in there now. They have one of the weirdest coaching situations in recent memory because their old head coach is their defensive coordinator. He got fired, and then 3 months later came back as a defensive coordinator because he and James Franklin have such a tight, bond. And in most situations, that would feel weird, like it wouldn't flesh out well, because how are you going to have the authority work out the way they do? But because the relationship between, I think, Fuentes and Franklin is as solid as it is, it seems like it's going to work out okay for them. I have 3 Hokies, though, on my list. I'm not sure what you're packing, but I've got Marcellus Hawkins.
I got a 4-pack.
All right.
I got a 4-pack. He's on there.
All right. And then Kamari Copeland and Jaquez White.
Don't have it.
Okay. Who are the other 2 you got?
The other 2, Isaiah Brown Murray and Luke Reynolds.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about Kamari Copeland only because I feel like, we haven't talked about a ton of running backs either, but we haven't talked about a ton of D linemen so far. And Kamari Copeland, this is not like anyone who's going to be, grabbing day 1 type stuff, but he's one of those undersized guys, right? 6'2", 290. So he's got 5 sacks last year. The fact that he threw up a 75 overall, 5 sacks, you need penetration at the next level, right? So you're looking for a guy who can do some different things for you and be a contributor. Like, he's starting in college. He's not probably going to be starting right away, when he gets to the NFL, but this feels like a fun day 3 pick. And this is a dude who started out at Army and then made the move out to jump out to Virginia Tech. So he clearly thought that his progression was going to be better through there for whatever reason. But even within all of that, as a D lineman, he had the 5 sacks. He also had like 38 tackles, which D linemen don't always get a ton of tackles.
Solid.
So I'm curious to see what he does this year, especially with James Franklin, who's supposed to be really good, with defensive players.
Last team for me, last player for me, and again, I already got ahead of myself, so we all know it's only one. I only have one Virginia Cavalier, dude. How many do you got?
I have a handful of Virginia Cavaliers. I have got 4.
Get out of here. Hit me with it.
Well, one of them is a stretch, okay? Bo Pribula is a stretch. The quarterback who was at Penn State and then at Missouri and now at Virginia. And they got Tyson Davis, Jekyll Middlebrook, and Zion Wilson.
Cool. I got none of that.
Love it. Who do you got? Let's talk about him.
It's a linebacker.
Of course.
Yeah. It's Cam Robinson. It's only 64 tackles, but dude, he's got 2 sacks, 2 picks, pass deflection. Dude, he actually looks very solid in the coverage game. Like I'm intrigued from that aspect. I'm not so sure about the instincts and the tackling, but I'm here to tell you, if you're looking for just like a linebacker to be like your third or fourth linebacker to come in and maybe some pass situations to do some pass coverage, he's not bad, but he's still developmental. You're not drafting him. He's not going to be that guy. You know what I mean?
But again, that's what we're saying right now. Who knows how this season goes for him? And that's where a lot of the fun comes in with a lot of these players that we're projecting, because we don't know. But I mean, he's got good size. 6'2", 234 is the kind of player you want to have at linebacker these days.
Especially if he's going to be a coverage guy.
Right. And again, I'll be curious because he didn't start the season. Obviously, he had these like 3 games, first 3 games of the year he didn't play. So he only had a chunk of the season. So if he can stay healthy all of this year and put up the numbers that he had, because again, he's been at Virginia all 3 years so far. If he could put up some bigger numbers, needless to say, I don't know how I didn't have him on my list, so he will be getting added momentarily. Wake Forest, to wrap up the ACC before we hit the 2 independents. I got 2.
I got a Babe Ruth.
Okay. Who's the third?
Who the 2 you have?
I've got Dallas Afalva and Devon Patterson.
I have one of those. I got Patterson.
Sure.
I have Langston Hardy and Carlos Hernandez.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about Patterson because I just kind of decided that I like him a little better, and it's an easier name to say. So
the Gordie Howe deflections?
I mean, use what you got, right? When it comes to how you're trying to figure out these teams. But again, Devon Patterson, Wake Forest. Dude, Wake Forest is staring down another, I guess challenging would be a good word for their season. Just because it seems like it's been that way for them for, a relatively long time. Not trying to be rude, but Wake Forest has been sneaky good here and there, and then they kind of fall flat, and then we forget about them, and then they come back. And so, I'm not expecting a ton out of the Demon Deacons overall, even though it's a totally fun name. But at a 6 foot, 217-pound corner, dude, that's solid, right? He's a guy who had, 72 tackles last year, 4 pass breakups, only 1 pick in his 3 seasons at Wake Forest, and 2 fully starting, so you'd like to see that number come up a bit. But as a solid-sized corner, who darn near is safety-sized, and somebody who can tackle, yeah, I'll take that. We've talked about it a couple times. This is a guy who, through 2 seasons, has had solid tackle numbers at cornerback for Wake Forest. I release you to talk about your favorite team we're going to talk about today. Ooh, actually, no, that's a good question. Is Boston College or Connecticut your favorite team we're going to talk about today?
I mean, it's because do they both count as the New England area? I'm a Boston guy.
No, they both count in the New England area, 100%.
Oh, then in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
if you ask people in Connecticut where they belong, they say New England.
Okay, then I guess by that, I've always felt like it was Boston, but if you're going to count
they're part of it.
Connecticut as a Boston area school, then I like the Connecticut Huskies more than the Boston College Eagles.
Connecticut does not want to associate with Massachusetts, but they will associate with New England. Kind of like that rivalry thing.
It's tricky. It's
because like New England. So New England is Massachusetts, like Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. Rhode Island and Connecticut. Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire is kind of like the wall, because New York, you can say upstate New York still feels, upstate New York, like the northern part that's almost Canada, that feels more like New England. The rest of New York, forget it.
My hair just stood up on my arm.
Right? Well, yeah, the New York City is not at all, right? But there's a lot of people in Connecticut who drive into New York for work because, money and stuff like that. But they do not want to be associated with New York. They'd rather be in New England.
I would as well.
But do you have some Huskies to talk about? Because I have one.
I have one, and he's definitely a good candidate a guaranteed candidate, I should say, to be my guy, because he's a guy I talked about last year.
Okay.
I absolutely love this guy. Who's your one?
Well, my one is probably not your one. He's a linebacker who transferred from Toledo. It's Kayvon Sherman. What?
Dan, I'm going to do something I've never done.
Uh-oh.
You're going to do this. You're going to do this take for me.
Is it with Kayvon Sherman? I'm going to do the take for
you?
Okay, good.
Nope. You're going to go look up Brian Parham, but Brian's spelled Bryun.
No, sure it is.
Parham.
So I like that I have a different linebacker from you, even though your linebacker is short.
Go ahead, Dan. Tell me who's right.
Well, look, here's what I can tell you. He's 5'11", so already we're off to a bad start.
Ivan Pace Jr. is who he reminds me of.
Sure. Well, here's the thing. If they liked him so much, why are they bringing in transfers from Toledo? I'm just saying.
You can never have too many linebackers.
That's also true. So, Parham, what? He's 131 tackles?
I have him as 126, but yeah.
Okay, well, I'm looking at PFF
it's your take, not mine.
Right.
Don't look at PFF.
It's the sack number, isn't it? It's the sack number that you love, isn't it?
It's everything. He's an
absolute... It is. He's an A-gap beast, is what you're telling me.
We just talked about if a linebacker gets triple digits. Yeah, I know it's his 5th year there. He started San Jose State. Wait, this is supposed to be you.
He's old.
Washington, then Connecticut.
He's old. He's short and he's old.
No, 5th year. Dude, it's 126 tackles. Okay? 15 and a half tackles for loss. 10 and a half sacks in a pick. And a pass deflection and 3 forced fumbles.
Dude, I'll be honest with you.
Instinct, like production,
I thought he was already collecting Social Security, so.
Well, we will see. Consider this a long season battle.
Right. He's 23 right now. So
I don't care.
24-year-old linebacker. I Googled it. October 6, 2002, according to the professional college football linebacker, which, by the way, that's hilarious. That's what AI calls him. No, it calls him a professional college linebacker, which is true now.
He is.
Because they get paid, right? But we can both agree that there's 2 linebackers to pay attention to from Connecticut this year, and you've got to be happy that those are the only guys worth it from their team right now.
There's one main one.
Sure. All right. Notre Dame has several. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to rip through all of them. Leonard Moore, Kingston Vilumasa, Bronte Johnson, CJ Carr, Boubacar Traore, Charles Jagusa, Francis Brood, Christian Gray, Anthony Knapp, Jordan Faison, Jason Onye, Elijah Hughes, Tion Gray, and DJ McKinney. What do you want to talk about?
You did it fast, but I think there's at least like 3 or 4 we don't have. Did you even say Kingston? Their linebackers? Sorry,
I did.
The linebackers. Okay.
Yeah. He was the second name I said.
Oh,
because Leonard Moore is by far the guy that everyone is going to put at the top of their list for just overall. He's top 10 for everybody right now.
He's a top 3 player in this class at this point for me. I was my number 3 player. But if you were telling me if this were my team and I had to plant a flag, Tay Johnson, the safety. Oh man.
Sure.
He's so good.
Yeah, so and again, it's Bronte Johnson. But yeah, Tay. That's what's fun, right? And again, CJ Carr is a guy that if he chooses to come out, it'll be because he had a great season, so he'll be up there too.
He's my QB4.
He's QB6 for me right now, but he could easily be up there. It was going. And Boubacar Traore is an edge rusher that has had kind of some sneaky little moments for him. And so I guess I'll talk about him real quick. Again, we're going to be talking about several guys.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about a lot of Notre Dame throughout the course of
yes,
the
we
season.
will be.
There's no doubt about that. But he had 10 sacks last year if you go by the PFF numbers. So, again, I'm looking at PFF right now, mostly because I wanted the sacks and hits. And so 16 sacks and hits in 294 pass rush snaps. That's over that 5% mark. Once you get over 5%, I start taking notice, right? You want the 8-9+% if you can get it for the poop ratio. But if you're at least over 5, we can have a conversation. Otherwise, you're Keldrick Falk, who apparently would have had some sacks in the training camp that they had with the Titans. So they're blowing him right up. It's going to be great. I would rather have Boubacar, not just because the name's amazing. 6'5", 250 though, right? He's the right size for a guy that you want. He's actually gotten, he got a handful of tackles, maybe not quite what you'd like to see, but he's a versatile piece, and at that size is the kind of guy you could have in a 4-3 or a 3-4, depending on how you want to do it. So there's a lot of players from Notre Dame. Those are the ones that we're talking about right now. But yeah, it should be fun to see how the Irish do this year, even if we're not going to be rooting for them in pretty much any of those games. So you, sir, have to finish us up with your expanded take on this beer.
I do. I just looked it up to see. According to the Untapped app that we like to look at.
Right.
I settled down. I'm gonna give it a 3.75.
Okay. So definitely a beer I have to find.
Yes, but apparently I crushed these. The notes they put on there are hoppy, malty, sweet, smooth, and strong.
Oh, there you go then.
Outside of smooth and sweet. Did I say sweet? I know I said hoppy and malty and kind of strong. I know I hit those three pretty spot on. But that's exactly how they describe it. Like, I don't think there's any crazy citrus vibe coming through at all.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's literally just hops and malts, and I think it's balanced pretty well for a double IPA. I don't think that the maltiness, it's teetering. I know you're there, but and I only say that because that's a note that I don't enjoy all that much, which is why I traditionally like a single IPA, definitely more than a triple. But the double, it can go one way or the other. You know what I mean? Yep. But I think this one is leaning more towards the single with the hoppy vibe that I enjoy versus going too sweet with it. So you definitely need to try it. I enjoy this quite a bit. 3.75.
Right. Man. I will add that to the list for things to jump on. And so that wraps us up for all of the Power Four conferences, the big ones that everybody has there that they're trying to legislate and never having the ability to change. We'll see how that all goes as we go through the rest of the summer. But next week, dude, we're going to rip. You talk about ripping through episodes, man. I'm not going to have a 20-minute take on the World Cup on the front end. We are going to rip through the rest of the other 6 conferences in both of those episodes. So we'll be running through the players. And again, for those of you who are big on the draft, right, you've probably heard a lot of the names we talked about, or maybe you're noticing because they're coming up. We're going to be getting into some names that you and I haven't talked about too much because we're trying to figure out who's even on these teams right now. Not to mention who's in what conference as we come up next week. We draft.